At the elementary level, how should educators navigate changing identities, names, and pronouns, considering that the age range involves many hormonal and developmental changes that may lead to future identity changes?
Thanks for bringing that up. We get that a lot. And it's no simple answer, of course, but kind of leaning on what Kim was saying earlier is having the child kind of guide the process, but also be strategic about it. And certainly a lot of there's room for psychoeducation around when gender identity begins. Usually it begins between the ages of 3 and 5. I don't think when we've grown up, we didn't know that. And so fluidity is a normal process, even in middle school, and starting to kind of normalize the fact that gender is expansive. But I don't think most parents have access or have been exposed to this information. And what an opportunity for schools to do that kind of education, and not just for that particular kid's parents, but for the whole school. If there's some way to do some psycho ed throughout the whole school, maybe coming out day or Gay History Month, which is October, when Gay History Month, yesterday was National Coming Out Day, and be strategic about when, where, and how to educate parents and community and staff about gender and gender expression, gender variance, gender nonconformity, and in middle school and elementary school, because gender is just so very, tangible at these ages. And there are ways to educate in developmentally appropriate ways. I mean, there are books actually, and books that can be in the library of the school about gender, gender identity, gender expression, gender expansiveness, gender variance. I think as a country, we're way behind on this. The kids are way ahead of us on this. So it's about catching up with the kids and being strategic about it. But I'll turn it over to Kim and Jenny. They'll add some more to it. Thank you for the question.
Yeah. Jenny, anything that you would add?
Not at all. Perfectly stated.
Yep. Yeah, I think, again, just a reminder to your staff that it's developmentally appropriate. Like what your students are going through and what they're talking about is developmentally appropriate. And it's also developmentally appropriate for their identity to shift over time. And that doesn't invalidate, as you were saying, like who they are in this moment. And just really the discomfort is really in adults, because we are much more comfortable having something, feeling like we know something and it's stable, and like I don't have to change. Like the change and the adjusting is really what we struggle with. We're much more comfort when things are consistent, but that's not how identity works, and it's totally developmentally appropriate for young people starting in 4th grade. Actually, that's about the time that sexuality, and sexual orientation, that when we're starting, an attractionality, that when we're really starting to understand those things. So, it absolutely makes sense that that kids are, sort of exploring that and thinking about it and trying to find the words to describe how they feel and coming to understand who they are and how they do feel. And as Kofi mentioned, gender starts much earlier than that, so it doesn't make it any easier, but everything that's happening is totally right on target for your young people. And I would just say too, it stands out because it's a kid who is, doesn't sort of fit into stereotypical norms. But all of our kids are having the same experience. It just stands out as different because it's a trans kid, or because it's a non-binary kid, or it's an LGBTQ plus kid.
There are other counselors and staff in Michigan who've experienced a similar situation. And so if you're looking just for peer support, we can connect you with folks if you're looking for that, because it is hard. It's hard for you.